Welcome to your Are You OK Day. My name is Gino Craft. I'm the Managing Director of the Core Occupational Assistance Services, your EAP provider. I've got a few points that I'd like to bring to your attention today with regard to the meaning behind Are You OK Day and some techniques and strategies on how to not only look after yourself, but look out for others as well. Generally for employees and managers, there's kind of a difference between the type of meaning that OK Day actually means. The objective is to try and understand what the difference is between stress or anxiety and depression, and also to learn how a personal stress may work for you as a way of managing your own stress barometer, and understanding how to recognise what the stress indicators are is a really important part of that process. Learning the practical skills and building awareness around the personal stress indicators and implementing resilience building activities into your daily life that can be used regularly and not just when you need it. As I move through today's podcast, I'd like to also stress that you may be caring for somebody or caring for a loved one, a family member, whether it be in the home or externally. It still means a lot throughout this period that we've been facing that's challenging us even more so than any other Are You OK Day period. Are You OK Day is any day. It's not just around this time of the year. It's not a to be forgotten the day after or the night of Are You OK Day. It may relate to work. It could mean a conflict. It could be something to do with a relationship or financial concerns. No matter what, the purpose is to look out for one another. So as I move through, I'd like to just coin the umbrella of stress. I consider stress to be the overarching explanation that people may have when they're experiencing a number of different changes to their life and their physical and psychological well-being. It's a term used to coin how one may not be travelling particularly well. When asking somebody how they feel, they may say stressed. Immediately, it's putting the umbrella up. It starts to then tell us a bit more about they may be feeling a physical tension or headache, dizziness. Perhaps even in a lot of cases, people feel a tightness in chest. Racing heart is a very common physical feeling that people feel. Dryness of mouth or sweating can also be an indicator that someone is anxiously stressed. It may be that some of the reasons why that's happening is that overactive or ruminating in terms of their thoughts. There may be some confusion. There may be problems concentrating or making decisions. There may be some pressure actually during stress. Feeling such as a loss of confidence or that overwhelming feeling of stress because they're bored. Increased caffeine or alcohol consumption can actually add to the stress. I often say that the one or two of any of these beverages can take the edge off, but everyone after that can lead to the feelings of depression or increased racing heart with caffeine and the depressive feelings that come with alcohol consumption. It may lead to increased eating habits, poor sleep, and may even lead to irritability that may result in arguing with loved ones and friends and workmates. We may be using alcohol, we may be using caffeine to keep us working longer hours, which has the outcome at the other end where we may be worn out or feeling extra anxious. It's common to feel anxiety. It's our body and our brain's way of telling us that something might not be right. It might be that it is our indicator that keeps us safe naturally. If we're anxious about crossing a busy road or doing some rock climbing or some other risky type activity, it's kind of good to have an element of anxiety. Where it becomes detrimental is that where we're anticipating the worst to happen, where we may be anticipating failure or we may be anticipating an outcome. That's the type of anxiety that will start to really impinge on our general well-being and cause other issues. It lowers our immune system. It lowers our ability to fight off any illnesses. And it also limits our function in so many different ways. Some of the feelings that people may get is a heightened feeling of feeling overwhelmed, worry, dread, anticipation of the worst, as I mentioned earlier. It may result in cold or flu type symptoms. It may even give us a general sense of nervousness that leads to us avoiding certain situations. And it may also lead to us having inactivity, which may lead to poor health from the point of view of limited exercise and perhaps even gaining weight as a result. Depression, on the other hand, is more of a feeling of sadness or feeling down. It limits our daily function because it limits us feeling the ability or the willingness to get out and do what we want to do on a day-to-day basis, to feel accomplished. It may increase our absence from work, our social interactions, our withdrawal, various activities, unusual irritability that it may lead to as well. And it also may reduce our motivation and forgetfulness. Our concentration may be impaired. Memory may be impaired. And we may just feel a general sense of not feeling good enough. Or the common expression, I've failed, or I'm a failure. It's a hopeless and helpless. Generally, we feel a general sense of fatigue and significant. What I say with any of these is that if we are feeling, then it's important to acknowledge them. But if we're feeling them for a prolonged period of time, a week or two, and I say 2 or 3 of these or more symptoms, then it's really important to seek that support. And if somebody mentions that to anybody or to yourself, I think it's important to acknowledge to them that they can be doing something about it and perhaps assist them with that. Mindfulness is extremely important throughout this period. Being present, feeling connected to yourself and others, being able to reduce those stress, anxiety and depressive symptoms through being able to be self-aware and develop that acceptance and compassion that's required in order to move forward in resilience. to become more and more connected, to be less distracted, to focus on one or two things at any one time keeps us in the moment. And it's really important that we're able to do so. One particular model that stands out that can assist with that and being able to bounce forward in resilience by practicing calm, a very useful, very short approach that can be used anywhere you go. It's really important to breathe, which accounts for the C in the word calm. To be able to breathe and counting 10 down to 1 as though you were going down an elevator. You can be doing that as many times as you like throughout the day, whether you're at your desk, in front of the computer, or even just watching TV. It allows us to assess the situation just a little bit more precisely and not feel so submersed or confused, to be able to stand back from the situation and make good decisions. And the way we do that is to listen to our self-talk. Or if there are others involved, we can actually listen better. If we're able to do the counting, the assessing, and the listening, we're able to then manage the situation so much better because we're in a position to implement a strategy without feeling overwhelmed. Hence the word calm. Really important, I think, in this process is rest. R stands for relaxation. E stands for exercise. S stands for sleep. And T stands for, all of these are important. If you're doing them, you're going to fare out quite well. If you're not doing any of those things, then the chances are you're going to be unsettled. It's really important to incorporate this regularly throughout the day and not putting it off to another time. We take it with us wherever we go, so there's no excuse. It's very important that if we're traveling along quite well, it's important to look out for others. Hence, the Are You OK is about anticipating how we can assist ourselves, but we can assist others as well. Managers can look, listen, and look for particular behaviours, changes in the way that people behave, their demeanour. Perhaps they're usually vivacious people or people who offer quite a few ideas in the workplace. And you've seen a diminished lot of those behaviours. That might indicate that something might not be quite right. Good opportunity to ask people if they're okay, if you've got some tangible ways of highlighting that perhaps things aren't quite right. The reason why I say that is that often if you ask an Aussie, hey, are you going? Or are you okay? They'll say, yeah, should be right, mate. Or things are fine. Now, but in fact, if you've got something over there not quite, like I just mentioned changes in people's thoughts or particular behaviours, you're more likely to. And it's really important that nobody needs to be the fixer here. Not even managers need to be a fixer. All it is about being able to give people the option of being able to find that assistance. And you can do that immediately through your EAP program. It's an instant program. It's 24/7, and you can just get on the phone immediately and get that assistance. Throughout this time, you can speak to people online or over the phone, or you can also get that assistance immediately if you need it, if you're not feeling particularly well. The looking out for one another is about, are you okay? And it's really important to follow up with people when you're given the options of, accessing their EAP program or their local GP, and see how they got on, just as a way of just keeping that connection. But remember, you don't need to be the fixer, therefore you don't need to avoid asking somebody if they're okay. Look out for one another and be the good Samaritan, because we all know one another quite well in most cases. And we know that we spend a lot more time with each other in the workplace than we even do with our families. So it's important to make sure that we are looking out for one another and leave no stones unturned. If you have concerns about someone, call us. We'll give you some guidance on how to approach that and the way to go about it. So remember, you have 24/7 assistance at any time, just calling through. So that's it from me now. If you have any further questions, you're welcome to contact us through our EAP hotline, and which are available to you. And if you're concerned about particular things that are highlighted for you, you can check them out, and perhaps we can give some more context for you.